What's up, everybody? It's Jared with Capture the Magic, and today is, at least in my opinion, a sad day at Magic Kingdom, as it is the last day of operations for the Rivers of America, Tom Sawyer Island, and in my opinion, really the heart of Frontierland, as it is going away to make way for the new Piston Peak Cars-themed area that is going into Frontierland.
This is the worst!
But today is the last day of operation, and there are some things going on, obviously, around Magic Kingdom as people come in to ride the ferry boat one last time to check out the rivers before it goes away. So in this video, we're just going to go through, what this is looking like today, look at some footage of the riverboat, because I love the riverboat, I love the Rivers of America, and at least for me, I'm not happy to see these things go. But they did have, as many times as things do happen at Disney World, when, the last day of an attraction, they hand out wristbands as they are flooded with people who want to check out something for the last time, as we just saw this happen with Muppet Vision 3D, as that was a very popular last day of that attraction, and they're doing a similar thing here, it seems, and this is from WDWNT, and it says, cast members at Magic Kingdom handing out wristbands for final ride on Liberty Square Riverboat. And it says cast members are now preparing for the final night of operation by handing out wristbands. And this is the thing about this, is toward the end of the night. I mean, right now you can get on the riverboat. I've seen some people doing live streams of this. Like, it's not insanely crowded to get on it. But as it gets closer to the closing time of the park, it's going to become inundated with people. So the wristbands become a way for people to secure their spot and not really have mayhem as much on the last day of operation. Says, while they were not available at Park Open, cast members at Magic Kingdom have started handing out wristbands to guests who want to be on the last ever journey for the Liberty Square Riverboat. The attraction, along with Tom Sawyer Island and the Rivers of America as a whole, will officially be closed on July 7th, making today and tonight the last day of operations.
This is terrible. Terrible.
And even My Disney Experience app has been updated with warnings of the impending closures, as well as operational notice for the Walt Disney World Railroad, since it will also be affected by the upcoming construction. It says guests who received a wristband were told to return to the same spot in Liberty Square at 8 p.m., and the cast members also warned that the time of the final ride may vary depending on local weather conditions. And it is going to be running today from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. tonight. And it is actually there, I believe right now it's actually raining, as Blog Mickey is there, and it says a little bit of rain isn't going to deter guests from one last barrel bridge experience on Tom Sawyer Island. So a lot of people are making their way to Magic Kingdom to, pay their respects to the rivers and do some of these attractions for the last time. And you also had a lot of lines, of course, on the last day here. Tom Sawyer Island has an extended queue out for today. A lot of people are going to want to check out not only Tom Sawyer Island, but the Liberty Belle Riverboat, as it's the last day of operation for all these things. And it's a sad day. I do it. Whether or not you're for this or against it, I think regardless, it's an opening day attraction. It has ties to Walt Disney himself, and learning more about Walt and how much he really loved the frontier and the Wild West and the story that it told. I'm always sad to see things that have connections to Walt go away in the theme parks, and having this not only be an opening day attraction or area of the park, but also has connections to Walt. I never like seeing those things go away, especially when these things go away for googly-eyed cartoon cars going into a national park setting. And don't get me wrong, I think the national park idea here is unique. I'm not against the idea of it. To me, though, you lose me whenever you put cars into this. But I think ultimately, if you wanted to do some sort of national park land inside of Frontierland, you could make that work. I just think you could have, obviously Disney could have done it and saved the rivers. There were multiple former Imagineers that showed ways in which it could be done. And I do know from people that have worked in Imagineering that said they were presented with many different possibilities in which they could do these things they want to do and still keep the Rivers of America, or at least part of it. And each one of those ideas were basically vetoed, as it's pretty well known, I think, internally, that the rivers have some foundational issues. They have some leakage going on. And instead of them wanting to spend the money to fix that, which I think would be the better move, in my opinion, but instead of doing that, they would rather spend that money on building an attraction here and using this space in a different way. But as I've said before, I think this is the difference between a theme park and an amusement park, is that a theme park is supposed to kind of tell a story, make you feel like you're somewhere else than you are, and also have areas where you can just sort of relax, enjoy some ambiance, and not, get away from the hustle and bustle of what many times can be Magic Kingdom. And we're losing a lot of these areas of the theme parks in general, I would say, outside of Epic Universe with Celestial Park there, but many areas where people can just relax and just kind of get a snack, get a drink, sit down and enjoy a view, ride on the riverboat, and just sort of just be reminded of a time of not today, a time that how it used to be long ago where you weren't rushing around to ride everything you could in a single day and just kind of enjoy the nature and the serene viewings of this. And this is another thing too about this going away is it does have a nature aspect to this. I think it brought to Magic Kingdom, and really time will tell whether or not this is going to be something that Disney is happy they did, or if this will be looked upon as a major mistake of this park. And I suppose that is the risk reward with this, with what Disney is currently doing. But regardless of whether you're for this or against it, it's undoubtedly true that this is going to change Magic Kingdom forever. It's going to change this part of the park forever. And I do think losing these, views and large body of water and the ambiance it provides to this entire area, where you're talking about Haunted Mansion, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and just this whole area of the park, I do think have benefited over the decades from the Rivers of America being there. And with those gone, this area is going to look and feel much, much different. And I have a hard time thinking it's going to be for the better. But it's one of those things that I've said all along that Disney made way too much noise about. They weren't going to change their minds on this. And personally speaking, I'm going to miss the ambiance that this area brought. It was always kind of nice to walk around here. Like, I love Big Thunder Mountain. You always walk by and hear the riverboat going by. It was just kind of a soothing thing. And this isn't talking, necessarily about what's going in, what could be coming in here. Piston Peak could be a great land with some great attractions. I would still contend it doesn't fit Frontierland, and I think, personally speaking, they should just rename this area something different than Frontierland, because I do believe taking out the rivers, Tom Sawyer Island, and these areas, change it to the point where it's not Frontierland anymore, and I think that would be a better move, personally speaking. So I'm not going to get on here and act outraged. I've kind of come to, I've known this is happening for a while. I just find it sad. I enjoy the riverboat. And it's just going to be a very different park, especially the next few years while it's under heavy construction. And it's going to look much, much different and affect a lot of the areas around it, not just what is going in here attraction-wise, but really the ambiance and the overall feeling and vibe of this area of the park is going to be forever changed. So even though there's been a lot of, I would say, online backlash at this, undoubtedly, I think Disney looks at that as a small minority of people, and I think they're looking at more just the general modern day theme park audience doesn't have much appetite for historical areas of theme parks. And much like how they, with the Muppet Vision 3D closing in that area, I do really wonder, it's really weird how Disney doesn't have any last day merchandise. It seems like they want to close these things rather quickly and move on from them and not really celebrate too much. I think Disney sometimes doesn't like necessarily when things close down and people come in to celebrate it. It might make them feel, that the new thing's coming. People are upset about it. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But having only 30 days notice when this area was going to close down roughly a month, I do think was, I don't think that's a good move. I think you should have given more, people more time to, if they want to make a special trip to see it for the last time, they should have had more time to do that. And I will say it does seem a little bit of an extra gut punch coming right after the 4th of July, as this is a very Americana area of Magic Kingdom. And seemingly 4th of July is here, and then a couple days later, this whole area is going away forever. So like I said, I've made my thoughts known on this. We'll wait and see how this area ends up and what it feels like when it is done. But either way, this is my salute to the Rivers of America, to Tom Sawyer Island, to the riverboat. Just remind everybody, if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, as we do lots of coverage here of Universal Studios, Epic Universe, Disney World, and pop culture. And let us know in the comments what you think about the Rivers of America, Tom Sawyer Island, and the riverboat closing for good here. Until next time, we will see you in the parks.